Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by here on a Wednesday afternoon on March 5th, as we are just a couple days away from NFL free agency being kicked off and us finding out if Joe Schoen and the New York Giants are going to be aggressive when it comes to trying to add some top-end talent to this football team. Appreciate everybody that's been showing love to the channel over the past couple of weeks. You guys were awesome engaging with the content while we were at the NFL Combine. That was a lot of fun, and we wouldn't have been able to have the success that we did if it wasn't for all of y'all. A lot of stuff to dive into on today's video. With free agency starting on Monday, I wanted to one final time talk about 5 players that I want to see the New York Giants target. And I'm not saying sign all 5 of these players. That's probably not all that possible. But really, my top 5 guys that are somewhat realistic, I would like to see the Giants target. And also, the rumors around the New York Giants trading up to the number 1 pick in the NFL draft are on fire. And there's gasoline being poured on that fire. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to pick it apart. And we're going to try to come to a resolution of if the Giants are going to trade up. Shout out to all of y'all. Already 195 people in the building. If you bleed Giants blue and you're ready for the offseason to officially be kicked off, give me a real one down in the comment section. We'll give some shout outs here on the show. My guy, Vinny Pip, in the building. What up, the Bronx boy? CTM is in the building. What's happening? Edit Master, yes, sir. Gus Nini, what's happening? Bryce Edmonds, ETC, the Big Moo, Thunder, Thunder. Ooh. What up, Michael? Kevin Flowers, Avery Cox, Giants fan 56, Nova Nebula, Michael Talking Yanks, Joe Santiago, M.80, Beautiful Bull Bell. I don't know. It's chat's moving too fast. Shout out to y'all. My guy, Big Jack, what's happening? We got Big Jack and we got Big Bang. It's a big off, baby. What's up, Kenya? Sam Jackson. Samuel. Is that Samuel in the building? What up? Darian's hanging out. Says Riley Leonard. Not a chance. Not a chance. Picho. Oh, what up, Picho? Haven't seen my guy in a minute. Good to see you. What's going on, Frank? Shout out to One Dot Gaming. Bronx boy stirring up the chat. Kyle Connor, what's up? Jonathan's in the building. John Kalo, Rafael Rodriguez, Chris Duffy, C-Tuck, what's happening? John, Jonathan, Ashton, JC Silva. Shout out to all of y'all in the building. We got producer Smitty hanging out with us here on the show. And I'll tell you what, man, if no one's told you today, you look beautiful in that New York Giants blue.
Oh, I got a little big NY on the chest today. Just got a new pickup. Had to bring it to the office on a day where we got Giants live, and I'm hanging out with the real ones. Big off season ahead, and it's really kicking into high gear on Monday.
Shout out to y'all. Big Jack says Smith dog. Kenya, Smitty sent.
What up, what up?
Smitty sent.
Smitty sent is tough. Kenya's the homie. Kenya was on a live stream that I was doing last night here at Chat Sports, and I can't appreciate him enough.
Shout out to King Kenya. Eric Cruz in the building. What up, Eric Cruz? Pachu, what's up? C-Tuck says Smitty on the beat.
Hey.
Smitty.
This is crazy.
That's what's up. Shout out to all of y'all. Smitty, we are like 4 days away from seeing if the Giants are going to add some football players.
I mean, GM Joe Schoen, he's going to be GMing for his job. And if that means going out there and having a big spending offseason, then you know what? At least the Giants are going to have better football players on the roster.
If Howie Roseman can sign every single player that he wants, it's time for the Giants to start playing with that type of juice.
I don't understand it. I mean, they're thinking about making plays for Myles Garrett now. I can't stand them.
I'm honestly getting kind of pissed off when people tell me the Giants can't afford things.
Yeah.
Who are they paying? Outside of Andrew Thomas, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence.
And Daniel Jones.
They're not paying anybody. They are one of 2 teams to have $0 allocated to void years. Like, the forward pass was invented to be used. The Giants are still trying to work in free agency by just handing the ball off. Adapt or die. Joe Schoen, you make the decision, buddy. You make the decision. Like, I'm tired of hearing it. Giants can't afford this guy. Someone on Twitter told me today the Giants couldn't afford Joe Thuney. He makes $15 million a year. Like, that is a value deal for a top guard in this league that can also play left tackle, who the Giants have an injury-prone left tackle. The Giants should have been all in on Joe Thuney. But you know what? They weren't. Joe Schoen was sleeping. Told at the combine he turns over every rock. He looks into every conversation. He likes to throw his hat into every single ring.
Nope.
How about you do something? Because it's year 4. And he told me we can compete today and build for tomorrow. We didn't compete today and we're damn sure not built to win tomorrow.
Nope.
Do it or get the hell out of my franchise.
Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot. Seriously. Like, you're going to go try to beat the Eagles next year with this roster? I know we've talked about I don't want Joe Schoen to go on a spending spree to save his job. I do want him to go out and spend some money and add some legit football players to this team. Because right now you are one of the least top-heavy talented rosters in the NFL. Like, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit pissed off with it. You couldn't even get Matt Stafford. Like, you strike out again. But you know what? That night he can go out and hang out with Brandon Beane and get drinks, walking around, chest out. You should be embarrassed.
He's flexing like he has the most job security in the world, and he's in the hottest seat in the NFL.
Should have been fired like we talked about. ETC, what's up, my man? $5 super chat. Thanks for the love, bro. Says, love the page, Marsh. The combine videos were great. Things are starting to heat up. Keep up the good work, and let's go Big Blue. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro, for the kind words, man. It was awesome going to the combine, getting to talk to different people, getting to be around all the top prospects, getting to interview them myself, and really just being able to formulate my own opinion on some of the character of these guys. That's one thing the last 3 NFL drafts I hadn't been able to do. It's all just tape and what I'm hearing. I got to look these guys face to face in the eyes and see how they talk, see how they operate, see how they handle themselves, and I think that's a big part of really an NFL draft process and wanting to see who you want inside the building. Hopefully Joe Schoen selects some good football players. Yeah. Because he's 1 for 3 in drafts so far.
Shooting 33% in drafts, and I don't even know what percent in free agency.
Not good.
There haven't even been a lot of bullets thrown in free agency.
No. He said he's down for taking swings at the quarterback position, though.
Yep.
24 picks as the GM, didn't pick one quarterback. Took a big swing at QB last year and Drew Lock.
Yep. Except they had to start Tommy DeVito first.
Yep. And then you benched Tyrod Taylor for Tommy DeVito, and then Tyrod Taylor didn't want to play for your football team anymore.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not listening to that BS.
They told Russell Wilson to be the backup to Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Taking big swings. Didn't even want to have a competition.
No competition. Big swing Joe. He's like Aaron Judge in the playoffs. Swing and a miss. If you want a big offseason for the New York Giants, hit that thumbs up icon for me. 300 people in the building. Can we get to 200 likes like right now? With 300 people watching, we should be at 200 likes.
Very possible.
Like, we usually talk about a 50% watching to like ratio. I want to get up to 66%. Like, we're done being a little channel. Like, We're done. Those days are cute. Like, I got a new puppy, and I tell her, it was cute when you used to bite on our toes 2 weeks ago. You're too big for that anymore.
Yep.
You don't get to bite my toes anymore. You don't get to jump on the furniture anymore. I only expect big results from this channel because that's what we are. We're a big fucking channel.
That's what we are.
Let's start acting like it. 320 people in the building. Hit that thumbs up icon. If you have liked the video, type me in the chat. We'll get some shout outs. We the plug in the building says, run these like, yep, exactly. Gabagoo above all. Yep, that's why we're in this mess. What up, Big Jack? What up, Cody? Yabs. What's happening? Nick Jones. Yes, sir. Frank. Joe Santiago. Pachu. Barry Neal. Thunder. Shout out to all y'all. If you could, please hit the like button below the video. It's free, it's easy, and it helps this channel grow. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. An awesome achievement. We do have a mailbag coming up. I just want to be able to chop it up with you guys. We went live at the NFL Combine. Got cut short due to Matthew Stafford choosing to not go play for Joe Schoen, even though he hired his brother-in-law and was willing to pay him $100 million and give up pick number 34. But he didn't want to come do that. And I just want to answer questions that you guys may have about free agent targets, trade rumors, DK Metcalf. We've seen a lot of stuff in the NFL happen today. If you want to be featured on the mailbag going on in probably about an hour or so, hashtag Giants down with your comment below. Or if you want to skip the line and guarantee your question gets up on screen, you got to send a super chat.
Let's do it.
We got used? I don't agree with that at all, to be honest with you. And I don't understand why people keep saying that, Smitty. If the Giants got used, wouldn't the Rams be paying more money than the Giants were willing to offer?
Yeah.
They're not. The Giants offered the most money of any team in the business.
And that was what his primary concern was it not?
Yeah, so I don't understand why people are saying the Giants got used.
Was it at the end? Do you believe that there's any truth in them just not wanting to move to New York at the end of the day?
I think Stafford, at the end of the day, wanted to stay in L.A. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you think that he was probably in his verbally and publicly wanting the most money possible, but he would have been willing to take, the same money, if not a tiny bit less, to stay in LA.
I think at one point he wanted to be a Giant. I do think that.
Okay.
And I think at the end of the day, he wanted to feel wanted a little bit more by the Rams, and he wanted them to pay him. And I guess you can say the Giants maybe got – I don't even think they did get used. If they got used, that means that they would have – Stafford would have used the Giants to get more money than the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just doesn't really compute in my head. There was real interest in Stafford being a Giant.
Yeah.
Giants went all out to do it. At the end of the day, he decided it was best for his career to stay in L.A., and he's making less money than he is with the Rams than he would have with the Giants. The Giants,
he is making less money.
Oh, absolutely less.
Okay.
Absolutely less. It hasn't been reported, but I had heard the Giants offered him 2 years, $100 million fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
The money was agreed to by Stafford and his agents, and the trade package was agreed to by the Los Angeles Rams. Stafford, at the end of the day, said, I'd rather stay with the Rams, though. I don't know. How much more is he making than he was? I'm not sure. The money hasn't officially come out about what the Rams are paying him. Last year they paid him $36 million. Giants offered $50. I'd say he's probably up to about $42, $43 million is what I would guess. Slight pay raise, but at the end of the day, I think it was more about he wanted to be in L.A. than the Giants kind of being used. I don't know. Oh, my dad said the same thing, and I just don't understand that. I don't understand. G-Man, what's up, bro? $2 super chat says, what are the chances of us getting DK and trading up? I would say 0% chance you get DK, Metcalf, and trade up. Because if you're trading up, you're going to be using the assets that you would use in a DK Metcalf trade. It's tough to have your feet in both of those pools. You only have so much draft capital to use, whether that's in the form of trade currency or whether that's in the form of moving up in the draft. I don't think it's possible to end up doing both. So if I had to say what is more likely, trading up to the number one pick, I think is a lot more likely than DK Metcalf. We talked about months ago, Smitty, DK being traded by the Seahawks. And here we are today, and a trade has been requested. Jordan Hahn made it clear. He thinks the Giants are going to take a swing for a playmaker. I don't know if they want to give up pick 34 and then $25+ million every year for DK at this point.
I think that they need to use those resources more wisely. You're going to get a player at 34 who, you hope is a high-end starter. You really do hope is a high-end starter.
He should at least make one All-Pro in his career.
Yeah, it's at least it's basically a first-round pick, and you're going to get him on a rookie deal for the next 4 years, and who knows what happens next. So you're going to have to give DK a new contract, and he's getting closer to 30. I mean, I know he's not super old yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah, I would just I know he's older. I'd rather just pay Davante Adams than pay DK and give up a pick for him.
What do you have to pay Davante Adams? $15 to $17 million?
Yeah, I don't think he. I think tops
tops 20.
Yeah, 20. Absolute max, I would be willing to pay him is $25 million, and this would probably only be a 2-year deal.
2-year 50, and then with $25 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and then you can throw on some void years like every other team in the National Football League that lives in the 21st century does.
Yep.
I don't think a trade for DK is all that likely, to be honest with you. I'll be shocked if it happens. I'll tell you I'm wrong if I'm wrong, but I think the Giants have their eyes circled around moving up to the number one overall pick. I told you guys on February 27th at the NFL Combine, the Giants want to do two things: trade for Matthew Stafford or trade up to the number one overall pick. They tried, they swung, they whiffed. Now we're on to the second option. Cody, $5 super chat. Shout out to you, my man. Says, Cody's master plan. I need your opinion. Well, happy to give it to you. Says, trade up to number 1. Pick up Rodgers and Adams in free agency. Stay at 3 and pick Travis Hunter. Round 2, pick up Dart.
He says don't trade up to 1.
Don't trade up to 1.
That's his plan. He says he doesn't want to trade up to 1, pick up Rodgers and Adams in free agency, stay at 3 and pick Hunter, and then go get a Dart next, I guess, at 34. Because I don't think he's making it much further past 34.
I don't think I wouldn't be shocked if Dart gets selected at the back end of the first round.
Yep.
A lot of people at the NFL Combine told me they don't think he's getting out of the first round. And yet people leaving the Combine saying Shore Sanders is going to slide out of the first round. So that's why I didn't believe everything I heard. Like when someone told me that the Giants would trade down to 6 with the Raiders to take Ashton Genty. I didn't believe that for a second. I wouldn't hate this. I mean, shoot, if your wide receivers next year, Davante Adams, Travis Hunter, and Malik Neighbors, you're cooking with some gas there. And I don't want to spoil what's coming later on in the video, but I tweeted it out on Twitter, so I'll say it again. My number 1 free agent target for the Giants is Aaron Rodgers. Because I think if you get Aaron Rodgers, you're also getting Davante Adams. And you get a quarterback that can win the most games possible for you that's available in free agency, in my opinion, for 2025. And you get the second best wide receiver in free agency behind T. Higgins.
I would trade up to 1 and pick up Rodgers and Adams. If you could.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
If you want if you think Cam Ward could be a franchise quarterback, then you go up to 1, have Rodgers play for a year, and then let Cam Ward go the next year.
Yeah. I wonder if you think Cam Ward is worthy enough to trade up to the number 1 pick, why not just start him year 1 and then sign a lower level quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I guess usually guys who get selected 1 overall don't usually sit to start.
Caleb Williams played right away.
Kyler Murray played right away.
Did Bryce Young play right away? I'm pretty sure he did.
Lawrence played right away.
Who's the last number
Burrow.
1 overall pick that did not play right away?
It's a good question.
Every situation and every year is different.
Yep.
But
team with the number 1 overall pick usually doesn't have a startable veteran quarterback.
100% agreed. That is true. That's definitely something you got to factor in as well. I mean, shoot, I'd love for Cam Ward to learn from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Cam said at the Combine that the 2 quarterbacks he likes to watch film on are Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. So
that was kind of what I meant. If a lot of people think Cam Ward's not a day 1 starter in the NFL, and if you think he can be one day, why not have him sit behind Rodgers for a year? I mean, isn't many better football players to learn from than him.
Yeah. The only if I were to play devil's advocate, I would say if you're signing Rodgers and Adams, that tells me you're trying to win a lot of games next year, and picking, and it's very short-sighted. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but picking Travis Hunter at 3 makes you a better football team for 2025. Than drafting Cam Ward.
There's no doubt about that.
And then maybe after Rodgers retires next year, then you just go up and get your quarterback. I don't know. I think it comes down to this. Do you think Cam Ward's worthy of number 1 overall pick? From everything I've gathered, the Giants think he is. Blue to Green. What's up, my man? $5 super chat. Thank you for the love, bro. Says sign Aaron for $10 million for the year with Adams signing $65 million for 3 years. Boom. Little splash and remaining money for the top alignment in free agency. Also high. What's going on, my man? Rodgers was owed, I think, $17 million still on his deal from the New York Jets. So not quite the Russell Wilson situation that we saw last year where he was getting $40 million and he was willing to sign a veteran minimum deal. But
do you think Rodgers gets $15 million in 1 year? That's a lot of money.
1 year, $15 million?
Yeah.
I think he would get a little bit more than that.
A little bit more than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
he was very good in the second half of the season. If
you put the $17 million he's getting from the New York Jets in guaranteed money, I bet he probably wants to be close to $35-40 million in total. Okay. I don't know that. I haven't heard anything. That's just me kind of assuming. But I could also see Aaron Rodgers saying, you know what? It's my last stop. I've got plenty of money.
I'm really rich.
I want to go win. and I want to stick it to the New York Jets that they cut me and they don't think I'm good anymore. What if he does come sign for $10 million, leaving room for the Giants to go out and sign Davante Adams and getting a top offensive lineman in free agency? I don't hate this at all. Like, if this is what happens with the Giants, I'm going to be extremely happy because you get the best free agent quarterback that's out there. Yes, I do think Aaron Rodgers heading into 2025 is better than Sam Darnold, and you get the best free agent wide receiver because T. Higgins has been franchise tagged. And what do the Giants need? A wide receiver 2 and a quarterback. Joey DeLuca, thank you for the support, my man. Thanks for always tuning in. We appreciate you. Oh, man, we got a 3-point goal. Asia Roberson. Bang! Shout out to Asia Roberson, longtime viewer of Knicks Now and Giants Now. What's going on? $50 super chat. Don't love this. Says, hey, Marshall, long time coming. This new year hasn't been kind to me. I lost my mom in January, just had her funeral 2 weekends ago, and I'm still feeling it. I hope this year our New York teams can hear the pain. I need all the support I could get. Everyone give me a prayer emoji in the chat for Asia. You've been watching this channel for so long. You know we love you here at the channel. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. Hope everything starts to turn around. I can't even imagine what you're going through. We love you, Asia. Prayers for you. Prayers for your family. We'll continue to keep you in our thoughts and in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Asia. Jay Liv, what's going on, my man? Says, what's up, Marsh? Just signed on. What's up, Jay Liv? We just signed on as well about 22 minutes ago. Thanks for being here, Jay Liv. Is that the puppy? Is that your new dog, Jay Liv?
Oh!
I haven't seen that profile picture out of you. What's the dog's name? What's the doggo's name? Shout out to Jay Liv. We appreciate you. Look at the chat showing everybody love to Asia. We love that.
That's love. That's why this community is so great here at Giants Now.
Shout out to y'all, man.
Yep. Credit to you guys.
Shout out to y'all. We are going to get into a mailbag coming up in a little bit. If you want to have your question popped up on screen, send a super chat. We'll pop it up. We'll talk about it. We'll chop it up. Or if you want to leave your chances up to producer Smitty, hashtag Giants down in the comment section. Just ask a question and include hashtag Giants, just like you see it on screen right there.
It better be good.
Better be good.
I'm only picking the good ones.
Shout out to all y'all. Almost 400 people in the building, 161 likes. Once we get to 200 likes, we'll dive into this free agency segment. How about that?
Let's do it.
39 likes away. If we can get 39 people to hit that like button, we'll be at 200 likes, and we're going to get rocking and rolling here on the show. Free agent targets, really my top 5 players at positions of need. I want to see the Giants target. You're not going to get all of these guys. Maybe 1 or 2 could be a package deal. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And then we got every insider, I think, that covers the NFL saying the Giants are going to trade up to number 1. So we'll talk about that. What's up, Norman? What's up, Cody?
I really
Smitty
hope
for MVP 2025.
Hey, listen. That you know what? That actually is the goal this year. I'm trying to win 2025 MVP. Just of life and getting better, bigger and better this year.
Love that. Love that. MVP, most valuable. What's the P?
Player.
Love that. Kyle, thanks for getting the question in. Mike says, but Marshall needs to be your catchphrase. Yeah, I throw that out from time to time. That started when they told me that the Knicks needed a backup power forward 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What are we going to do? We traded Obi Toppin. We don't have a backup power forward. Yeah. Can anyone name anyone's backup power forward in the NBA? Doesn't exist. Cody, Red, Ashton, 11 likes away. Hit that thumbs up icon. We the plug in the building. Duval.
Dude, we were doing the Duval. That was when that was like the first couple days of that coming out. We lost power.
We did lose power. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we were in the Eagles Now studio. I think they did that on purpose.
They did.
Marshall, are you going live for free agency? We're going to be live on Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even Wednesday. All day Monday. All day Tuesday.
It's about to be bunkers.
So, yeah, we're going to be breaking it down. That's why you subscribe. That's why you turn your notifications on. We're going to be getting you guys the most Giants content on YouTube next week. covering the NFL as a whole, having a live show. These things will probably be 6, 7, 8 hours long. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
Marsh gonna be standing up. I'm gonna be sitting in this chair, just ripping NFL free agency.
Cody says swerving on the corner. Whoa, whoa.
I'm like swerving the corner. Whoa, whoa.
All righty, 207 likes. We appreciate you guys. Free agent targets. And then we're going to talk about draft rumors. We got a mailbag. First, though, Gus Nini, $2 super chat. What about signing Tyler Lockett? Smitty, you watched some Seahawks games last year.
Yeah, I did.
As someone that hasn't watched many Seahawks games, I have no interest in Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett has significantly regressed.
He's afraid of getting tackled.
He's afraid of getting tackled. He's not an after the catch guy. He hits A every single time he has his hands open for a ball. And really just didn't have that same downfield speed that he's been accustomed to his entire career last year. Was not career lows across the board, like by a lot. Like he was a perennial 1,000-yard season guy, and I don't even know if he eclipsed 600 last year. Like he was really took a big step off. He was the wide receiver 3. If he's your 4th guy, then like maybe that's something that the Giants could be interested in. But I have no interest in Tyler Lockett being my number 2 receiver anymore.
And if you're going to be wide receiver 4, you got to kind of provide some sort of special teams contribution.
And he can do that, but I don't know how effective he could be as a returner anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get tackled.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 49 catches for 600 yards last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not interested in Tyler Lockett. I'm thinking for bigger than Tyler Lockett. I am. I want bigger and better. And I also don't want to sign any more wide receivers that are 5'9". We already have one of those in Mr. Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's go Giants. $2 super chat. The Giants better trade for DK. Should they trade for DK Metcalf?
You got to give up pick 34.
Yeah, are you guys giving up pick 34 and $100 million over the next 4 years for DK Metcalf?
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not really doing that. I'd rather just have Davante Adams for 2 years and pick 34 and then just go sign another free agent instead of having to give up premium picks and money.
You want an array of weapons. You know, like the Giants don't need to be the position that they're in right now. They don't need to be paying DK Metcalf $30 million.
Like if he was a free agent, yeah, I would be interested in him. But I'm not giving up the 34th pick in the draft and giving him premium dollars. Like that's a lot, man. Like Joe Tooney just went for a 4th. Like you trade a 4th for DK? Sure. DK's not going for a 4th. I would be shocked if it's anything less than a 2nd. That's kind of where I'm at on that. Chat saying no. Chat saying yeah. Eric Cruz says let's get DK. Eric Cruz says just like the Eagles got AJ. AJ Brown is a lot better than DK Metcalf.
Yes. He's going to make more money, but he is a lot better.
And the Eagles also had an established offensive line, an established defensive line, and a team that was ready to go play in the Super Bowl.
And the quarterback that just won Super Bowl MVP was in the building.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, I would rather have the best defensive tackle available at pick 34 and Davante Adams for 2 years than DK Metcalf. I don't know. That's just me. Arthur Flores, what's up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. And a first-time super chatter for Arthur. Shout out to you, bro. If you have a comment, if you got a question, drop it in the comment section. We'll chop it up about it. Thunder! What's up, my man? We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, Thunder. Me and you. If you know, you know. Says if we sign Rodgers, thank you for the $10 super chat, bro. Always supporting the channel. If we sign Rodgers, miss out on Ward, and decide to pick Hunter at 3, do you take Dart at 34 or see which O-line and a DT is available and try to trade back into the second round and take a chance with Dart? What do you think of Jackson Dart?
I just think everybody's being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment, and he's just not that good. I mean, big time situations, he's kind of folded in college, and I know he threw for a lot of yards against Louisiana Monroe or whoever the hell they were playing, but like he beat Georgia once on a rainy day. Wasn't even great in that game. Like, I don't know. I like to judge the football out on the field rather than like the traits that we're gonna see at the combine and all that stuff. And the guys are throwing in shorts. Dart looked really good at the combine, according to some people. I didn't really watch much of the action there, but I don't know. The guy I saw on the football field just didn't scream NFL franchise quarterback to me.
Yeah. Like, would I rather have Dart at 34 or would I rather have Quinn Ewers at pick 104?
I don't really want Quinn Ewers at all, but like I'm kind of standing firm in the fact that the Giants are going to take a quarterback in the first 3 picks.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're taking a QB first 3 picks. I mean, I don't hate the idea of Jackson Dart sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. I don't hate – a lot of people, like, don't want a quarterback for Rodgers to be the mentor to. I think Aaron Rodgers is a great mentor at this point. He learned how to not be a mentor from Brett Favre.
Yep.
Go listen to how Zach Wilson talks about Aaron Rodgers. Go listen to how anyone that played with the Jets the last couple of years talks about Aaron Rodgers. Connor Hughes put out an article where he reached out to former Jets employees. Former, meaning they don't work there anymore. And they said he was awesome to work with. Aaron Rodgers had to learn nothing from Brett Favre. And when you go through an experience like that, that kind of changes you. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be Brett Favre. He doesn't want to be that guy to a young guy. And I think he's maybe one of the smartest quarterbacks of all time. And I don't hate this idea. I don't, but I'm not sold on Dart. I'm not sold on Dart. I'm just not. I see some traits. I see some things I like. Just like, would I just rather just wait next year to get a first-round quarterback?
Give you something in the trenches at 34.
Yeah.
It's where the game is won and lost. You just saw it in the Super Bowl. You've seen it in basically every Super Bowl at the end of the day. Teams got really, really good trenches, and the Giants only have one side of that figured out right now, and they still need more depth there.
Agreed. The Big Moo, what's up, man? Landon Jackson, Edge, Arkansas, beast. Combine stats off the charts. I would love to grab this guy. Might go early in the second round. Thoughts, Marshy? I want to make sure this is who you're talking about. It is. He had the viral clip back in high school where he went through the bag drills, and he's like, Do you remember that?
Oh, when
he kind of looks like this is him.
Was he doing it crazy? Was he doing it crazy or
not good?
Oh.
That's him.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a good player. Let me see where Dane Brugler has him ranked.
We're starting to get into this mode where we're learning all about these players in college.
45. I mean, look, if he's available, I wouldn't take him at 34. I think you can get better players there. Like,
there's going to be players that slip out of the first round that everybody has first round grades on.
It happens every year.
Every year.
Jack Sawyer ranked 44. I know the Giants had a formal meeting with Jack Sawyer at the NFL Combine. Sawyer 6'4", 271. Jackson 6'6", 273. Brugler writes about Jackson with his athletic, broad-shouldered physique. Jackson has NFL size and attacks blocks with physical hands and active feet to shock and separate from contact. His tall pads and lower body stiffness will create occasional issues when he's setting the edge and diminishing his ability to counter when he first move is ineffective. He maintains his vision to clean up plays and constantly be around the action. Look, he's a good edge rusher, ranked 45th in the class. Giants need more edge rushers. I'm not going to act like I am someone that is a NFL scout that can tell you who is the perfect player. I haven't got to watch a lot of Landon Jackson tape, to be quite honest with you, the Big Moo. But I'll abide by what Dane Brugler says. 45th best player in the class. Definitely someone I am interested in. Giants need more edge rushers. Could never have too many. AJ, what's happening, bro? The Giants need to get Rodgers, Adams, Hunter, Dart. Seems like that's everyone's favorite foursome at this time.
Look at this one. Mr. Friolero.
Giants should get Travis Hunter round 1 and then in round 2 get Jackson Dart. Hunter, Dart, Adams, Rodgers. Everyone's favorite foursome.
I mean, I wouldn't be that mad at that.
No, I'm not mad at that.
That's a plan. That's a plan.
That's a plan. You get a veteran, and then you get a guy that can learn from him. I don't know. I'm not the hugest, not the big. No. Why is it doing that?
Oh, that happened for me yesterday. That happened on my live stream watch party last night. If you just edit it in studio up there.
I literally put the right one in there. I know I did.
No, it happened to me last night. This is ridiculous. Still got. Didn't even matter at the end of the day, but. Shout out to all the real ones who were in the building. Jonathan Abuyer.
Jonathan, what's happening, my man?
$2 super chat. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you.
Shout out to you. Double M. Harrison, let me know if it's updated now. Just ask me if it's updated. Let me know if it's updated now. It says it's saved on my end.
Okay.
Why is it doing that? Michael, what's happening, bro? Something tells me Tennessee wants Cam Ward and won't trade with the Giants. If the Titans go Ward, Browns go Hunter, who would you want the Giants to select? Shedeur Sanders. I think I'm a little bit higher than Shedeur and other people, but I'm going to trust my eyes on this, man. This is a guy that played before behind a horrible offensive line. I think he's extremely accurate. I think he's got the right mentality. I thought he owned the NFL Combine presser. I thought he knocked it out of the park. I think he's got the charisma to be an elite quarterback in this league. And we talked about last year all the time, Smitty, that J.J. McCarthy had it too easy. All he had to do was hand the ball off. He didn't have to do much. Well, Shedeur Sanders had to do everything.
Yep.
He had to play behind a horrible offensive line.
And he had good weapons, but
really, were there? Like, yeah, you had Travis Hunter, absolutely, but all these other guys are late day 3 guys. LeJohntay Wester, none of these guys are going before day 3.
Yeah, Will Shepard.
Day 3.
Yeah.
Like, they're not scrubs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's a good player. I do.
I mean, they didn't have a run game either.
No run game.
Either year at Colorado.
My big board is as follows for the Giants. I think Travis Hunter's the best football player in the class. I then have Cam Ward. I then have Shedeur Sanders. Then I have Abdul Carter. Those are the top 4 guys for me who I want the Giants to look at. Obviously, Cam Ward's number 1, but Travis Hunter's the best player in the class, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at on that. Rob Jigga, my man. We got a 3-point goal. Rob Jigga. Bang! Shout out to Rob Jigga. We appreciate you, my man. Says, guess I stand alone, but I do not want Rodgers. I will let you know this, Rob Jigga. You do not stand alone. There are people that are threatening to quit watching the Giants if they get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they are.
If you're willing to stop being a fan of a football team for a move that they made, you're not a real fan.
He's not a murderer.
Yeah. This team has done a lot of crazy things at the end. If you didn't lose you this far, you shouldn't get lost for adding a quarterback that threw for 4,000 yards last year and 30 touchdowns.
They put $100 million in Daniel Jones' bank account.
Yeah. He won't train Ward correctly. I just disagree. I disagree. Look at what he did with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was very complimentary of Aaron Rodgers. Very complimentary of Aaron Rodgers.
Got coach and GM fired. I mean, you act like he wasn't going to an active dumpster fire in the Jets organization anyway.
I don't know, man. Everyone's got their opinions, and at the end of the day, the best thing about sports is we all get to figure it out together. I think he's my question to you, Rob Jigga, would be this. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, which veteran QB do you want him to sign? You want him to sign Russell Wilson? You want him to give $100 guaranteed $1 million to Sam Darnold? Do you want him to get the cheap Justin Fields? I can tell you this much. He ain't going to be cheap. Justin Fields will sign for more than $15 million per year.
And Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, give you 6-7 wins and you're picking at 10 next year?
Look at what he did with Zach Wilson. He is a cancer. Got coach and GM fired. Rather get another QB to bridge. Maybe the Jets cut Tyrod Taylor. Jets aren't going to cut Tyrod, I don't think.
He might be the week 1 starter for them.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anyone's wrong about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to say I'm right about Aaron Rodgers. But I would like to have an open dialogue to anyone that says that he's not the guy they want, because I want to know, then what do you want in a bridge quarterback? What do you want? Because everything I want in a bridge quarterback, Rodgers checks a lot of those boxes.
Yep.
Like do you want Russell Wilson? Do you want Sam Darnold? Do you want Justin Fields? Do you want Marcus Mariota? Do you want to bring back Drew Lock?
We'll show you guys in a couple minutes who the top.
Not a lot of great options out there.
No.
There's not. Rob, we love you, my man.
Shout
Even
out
if
to
we
you.
disagree, always a pleasure to have you here, bro. Neighbors Prod, $5 super chat. What's happening, my man? Break down who we should get in NFL free agency. Well, sit your butt down in the chair because I'm going to tell you 5 players I want to see the Giants sign in 10 minutes. Shout out to you, bro. Mike G. Marsh. MG, best initials in the game. You got the best initials in the game, Mike G. 2 times. Who is the guy the Giants sign in free agency that we haven't heard a lot about?
Good question.
I feel like it's a good question, but like someone I'm guessing that I haven't talked about on the channel a lot.
Because there hasn't been a ton of reported interest in
No.
actual players. That's not really allowed yet.
Yeah, it's really not. I'll say this, and you could take it for what it is, but at the NFL Combine, Pat Leonard reported the Giants are poking around on the free agent quarterback market, including Vikings corner Byron Murphy Jr. So we've heard that. I've also heard the Giants could be interested in a wide receiver like Josh Palmer of the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm not going to be very happy if that's the wide receiver that they sign.
Well, a wide receiver that they sign is fine with me.
Yeah, but it can't be the.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Not number 2 either. And that's what the Giants are going for this offseason.
Couple of beat reporters were kicking around the idea of signing DJ Reed from the Jets.
I think it's possible.
We're going to talk about a defensive tackle that we have not talked about on today's show. If the Giants want to make their strength a fear amongst other teams, you can go out and target this defensive tackle we're going to talk about here in a little bit. It's another name that we haven't talked about on the channel a lot. James Daniels, the interior offensive lineman from the Pittsburgh Steelers, could be a guy. Patrick McCarry, the interior offensive lineman from the Baltimore Ravens, could be an option. We did a video talking about Tevin Jenkins. The Bears just traded for 2 guards. He's not going back to Chicago. He could be a guy. When he plays, he's awesome. Thing is, throughout his NFL career, he's played less than 67% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Any other guys that I could think of off the top of my head? I'll settle with that for now. Mike G. Nick Jones. Who? What up, Nick? $10 super chat. Thank you, bro. Says, need to do whatever it takes to get Cam Ward. He is the only QB, in my opinion, that is worth a first-round pick. If Rodgers is too expensive, who would you say is the best to sit behind Russ, Mariota, or? My top 2 free agent quarterback options are Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. They're number 1 and they're number 2 for me. Kind of a similar theme with both those players. Hall of Fame quarterbacks that think the game, that know the game, that can win you games next year, and both know why they are coming here, to be the bridge. Aaron Rodgers isn't coming to the Giants to be the savior. Russell Wilson isn't coming here to be a starter for 5 years. And I think, of the available free agent quarterbacks, outside of Sam Darnold, I think Aaron Rodgers is the best. I think Sam Darnold's the second best. And I think Russell Wilson's the third best. I'm out on Justin Fields, to be honest with you. I'm out on him. You have to run a specific offense for him. If I have Justin Fields and I have Cam Ward, I'm not running the same offense.
Yeah.
And I want someone that can run the same offense that I'm having Russell Wilson run. I want someone that can run the same offense that Aaron Rodgers can run. I want the vet to be able to run the same offense that Cam Ward's going to run. I want the vet to be able to run the same offense that Short Sanders is going to run. And I want someone that can get Malik Neighbors the ball 100 times next year. I don't think that's Justin Fields. What's the point of signing Justin Fields? Seriously.
That was my question I was going to ask you. There's no point.
Are we signing Justin Fields to hope that he could be the long-term answer? That seems risky. So we're signing him to be a bridge. A
The
27-year-old bridge that's trying to cash in and free agency.
Yeah, I think he's like 25 right currently. Like that's a bad sign if you're trying to be a bridge QB at 25.
Is Justin Fields going to be able to help Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders understand how to be a great quarterback in this league?
No.
Justin Fields isn't really on my list.
Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are already better than Justin Fields.
Agreed. I understand the upside, but I'm out. I don't want Justin Fields. I don't. Saxton, what's up, man? Thank you for the $10 super chat. Cam and Shedeur seem very iffy to me if they can truly be franchise QBs. Seems like a bit too much of a gamble to trade up. Just would hate to put too many eggs in one basket. Saxton, this is very well thought out. I wish John Mara would have listened. But he didn't. And he kept Joe Schoen. And he kept Brian Dable. And he told them getting a quarterback is number one priority. And when your boss tells you have to do something after he almost fired you,
you do it.
You do it. And I put out a video yesterday, a short, that even though it may not be best case scenario for the New York Giants, Joe Schoen and Brian Dable know the best way to keep their job is to draft a quarterback in round one. There's two ways that Joe Schoen and Brian Dable keep their job. They win more games than they're supposed to, which is unlikely, or two, you end the season with the belief that the quarterback that you selected can be the guy down the line. That's really it. That's really it. So, yeah. For me, I do think Cam and Shedeur Sanders can be franchise quarterbacks. Can they be Patrick Mahomes? Can they be Joe Burrow? Can they be Josh Allen? No, I don't think so. Can they be a Jalen Hurts? Can they be a Brock Purdy? Can they be someone that can be a part of a really great team?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, yes. There's not a lot of quarterbacks out there that can be the franchise. I think it's almost unfair to compare these guys to those guys. But I, through my tape study, through my eyes, and my own formulated opinions, I believe that both of these guys have enough talent to be quality NFL starters. It's on Brian Dable, and it's on Joe Schoen. Can you create an ecosystem that is conducive for success for a rookie quarterback? We're going to find out really quick. Mr. Frijolero, right? No? Frijolero. Just had to throw a little bit of juice on that. Thank you for the super chat, man. It says, oh, I don't want Rodgers. I'd rather have Wilson with Jackson Dart. LOL. I think Shedeur and Ward will be gone. I'm not a fan of Cam Ward. He will not handle New York's pressure. Sanders will.
I have no problems with either of their handlings with pressure.
I have no pressure. No, I have no worries.
They
about
both
either.
handle it in different ways, actually, and I think both are acceptable.
Yeah, I don't have any worry about them being able to handle the big bad New York media. Like, who are they? Who is the big bad New York media? Who? Me? I don't know. I think that's one of the more thoughts that have just run its course.
Yep.
I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. Is there pressure? Yeah, there's pressure to be a starting quarterback anywhere. When you're the number one overall pick, there's pressure anywhere you go. When you're the third overall pick, there's pressure anywhere you go.
There's pressure on Josh Allen. He was the 8th overall pick.
Yeah.
Like,
I hear you. I just have a different opinion. I'd rather have Rodgers over Wilson. I think Cam Ward is a slam dunk. And I think that I'd be happy with Shedeur Sanders. And I think both them can do fine in the New York media. Just my thoughts. Stephen Wall, what's happening, bro? $5 super chat. Thank you. Aaron Adams, free agent O-line, Chief. Well, the Chief offensive lineman is back on a franchise tag, so unless they pull the tag, he's not going to be a free agent. Take whoever is left standing at 3. Worry about trenches the rest of the draft. I'm cool with this. So go get Rodgers. Go get Adams. Get a guard. And, yeah, build up the trenches in the draft. Totally cool with that. Paul Bigelow, what's happening, homie? Thanks for being here. Thanks for the love. Do you think the Giants trade a player with the Titans to help move up Bobby O? Maybe. So there was a... Guys, I just want to say this as well. Stop listening to ML Football on Twitter. If ML Football tweets anything out, block them. They are the worst account on Twitter. The Giants are not in. The Cardinals are not interested in trading Kyler Murray. I hope that's the last time we have to talk about this. ML Football has no sources. ML Football is a worse aggregation account than Dov Kleiman. The Cardinals are not trading Kyler Murray. And he's not coming to the Giants.
Nope.
So, please. That's that on that. Do you think the Giants trade a player? I want to go back to that.
Yes.
There's a rumor floating around that a framework of a trade with the Titans and the Giants includes Kayvon Thibodeau going to the Titans and Harold Landry coming back to the New York Giants.
Kind of mess with that.
I haven't heard anything through sources that I trust on that. Not to say it's not true, but I'll go to this quote from Mike Borgonzi. If someone's trading up, Mike Borgonzi, general manager of the Tennessee Titans, if someone's trading up for a quarterback, that means there's a lot of value in it. It could be another position as well, too. Anytime you trade out of the number one pick, you expect a big return. I don't know if the Giants are going to trade Bobby Okereke. We told you guys a month and a half ago Bobby Okereke was a cut candidate. And all the commenters told me no way, no how. Now today it came out the Giants are thinking about cutting Bobby Okereke. Never crazy, just early. That's just what we are. I don't think the Titans want a quarterback. And I think they're going to try to pry absolutely everything they can away from the New York Giants to trade down. And I think their preferred trade down suitor is the New York Giants because they want to pick Abdul Carter and they want to pick Travis Hunter. And maybe the Giants call their bluff. We're going to get to figure that out. Scott, what's happening, man? Everyone is talking QBs. We still need to fix the O-line. What are your thoughts on the O-line free agents out there? Bears have signed, re-signed 4 already. Scott, I'm so happy you brought this up. And I don't mean to pick on you here, Scott. Everyone says this. When people say the Giants need to fix the O-line, what does that mean? They need to fix the O-line. Are you removing Andrew Thomas from your starting left tackle position? No. Are you removing John Runyon from your starting left guard position who you just gave $30 million?
Nope.
No. Are you removing Jermaine Illuminor from your right tackle position after he was your best offensive lineman last year?
Probably not.
No. Are you going to bench John Michael Schmitz heading into the season as a second-round pick entering year 3? No. There's only 5 positions available to be played on the offensive line. I just named 4 starters that are not going anywhere. You have 1 starting spot to fix. That's not fixing the O-line. That's adding a starting right guard. Then people will say, but Marshall, we got to get depth. Yes, we have to get depth. But adding a right guard and signing 2 good depth pieces, that's not fixing the O-line. So I want everyone here to understand that it makes no sense to say that. And I'm getting a little frustrated by it because it's something that Giants fans are clinging to, that we got to fix the O-line. Daniel Jones had all the time in the world to throw before he got benched.
Yep.
Receivers were running wide open, and he had time. You're not benching your left tackle. You're not making a change at left guard. You're not making a change at center. And you're not making a change at right tackle. Adding a right guard, which the Giants absolutely need to do, is not fixing the O-line because it's not broken. It just needs to be tweaked. Just like every team in the NFL wants to add a new starter on the O-line. So I just don't understand that thought process. Not saying Giants' offensive line is perfect, but my eyes and the numbers and the film and the stats and the analytics said when they were healthy, they were a top 16 offensive line in the NFL. And that was a year after you gave up 85 sacks, the second most in NFL history. Fixing the offensive line was signing John Runyon and signing Jermaine Illuminor and signing Greg Van Roten. 3 different starters. You only got 1 open starting spot. That's not fixing the O-line. Improving. You absolutely need to improve it. But It's getting exhausting.
And your point, and the point about the Bears, they needed to fix the O-line.
Yes.
The Giants don't need to fix the O-line. They put their plan in place for the O-line last offseason. And now they have one spot left to fill because they signed a 1-year deal with Greg Van Roten.
Adding to the O-line is fixing. I just disagree. I just disagree.
I don't think a top half offensive line needs fixing.
Like, I don't get it. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they're great. I'm not even saying they're good. But, like, you need to have openings on the starting line to fix it. And the Giants, 80% of their offensive line that is starting is already in place.
Yep.
That would be like if you're signing you're like, man, we got to get a new point guard. We got to fix the starting lineup. No, you don't. You just need a point guard. Mike G, what's up, man? Marsh, I'm back. Here in the Titans' edge is of interest to the Giants. Landry, how does that make sense for a guy they have to pay? You were a stud, by the way. Yeah, we've all heard the same thing. Rumors are out there that the Giants and Titans have a framework of a deal done that would send Kayvon Thibodeau to the Titans, and they would get Harold Landry back. Harold Landry is a 29-year-old pass rusher from the Tennessee Titans. Obviously played under Shane Bowen with the Titans. The Giants know that a decision on Kayvon Thibodeau's contract is coming up. They're going to have to pick up or decline the fifth-year option this offseason. I think they should decline it. They're going to pick it up because they don't really have a choice. But if you trade for Landry, you owe him $17.5 million this year and $17.5 million next year, which isn't a lot of money for a good edge rusher, which Harold Landry is pretty good. 9 sacks the last year, 10.5 the year before, 12 the year before that. I don't love the idea of trading a 25-year-old for a 29-year-old, but if you have to sacrifice Kayvon Thibodeau and move up to number 1 and you get a better edge rusher in return, I think sometimes we think about the NFL as like a 4-year league. This league is week to week.
Yep.
This league is month to month. It's year to year. Again, we also have to understand Joe Schoen is GMing for his job. He's not GMing for the best interest of the New York Giants anymore. And that's why we were so adamant about the New York Giants firing him. But I don't think at the end of the day, if you move up 2 spots and you have to give up Thibodeau and you get back Landry and you give up a handful of second and third round picks, I don't think that's a horrible trade. I don't. Because Harold Landry is better than Kayvon Thibodeau. And if Kayvon Thibodeau ever got to the level of being Harold Landry good, we'd all be thankful.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can get to that good. Mike, from Mike to Mike, but Marshall. Thank you, bro. If we trade up to 1 and get Ward, it's not that we can't get Rodgers and Adams. It's just maybe the money can be better spent. Well, the decision on reminder, free agency comes before the draft. The Giants are going to sign a veteran quarterback, I believe, before they make a trade. Because free agency starts on Monday. Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. 5 sleeps. We have 5 sleeps until free agency gets here. I don't think a trade to number 1 is going to get done in the next 5 days. I would not be shocked, Smitty, if the Giants sign a quarterback on Monday.
That'd be awesome.
What do they have to? They can't wait.
They can't wait.
They can't let him go somewhere else.
Yep.
I think a quarterback could be signed Monday. So I understand this process, but I think getting a free agent quarterback right now is priority number 1 for the New York Giants. Joe Schoen said at the press conference, ideally, you want a rookie quarterback and you want a veteran quarterback.
Yep.
I think that's what he wants to do. Stephen Wall, what does an Aaron Rodgers contract look like? I honestly have no idea. I have no idea. I know that he had $17 million or so guaranteed coming his way from the Jets prior to the release. Does that factor in and change the asking price from Aaron Rodgers? Not so sure. Does 2 years, $40 million with 25 guaranteed get it done? I'd like to think so, but I don't know. I don't. I wish I could give you a better answer, but I have no feel for what his market is going to be. If I had to guess, 2 years for 40? I don't know. I wish I had the answer there. I'd be willing to pay him 2 for 40. I'd be willing to pay him 2 for 50. He's the best free agent quarterback out there, and you don't have a quarterback. And it's no guarantee you're going to get one in the draft picking third because you had to beat the Indianapolis Colts in Week 17 for the culture. Brandon Barrios, what's happening, man? $5 super chat. Just heard on X that Mike Florio said that if Sam Darnold re-signs with the Vikes, JJ may ask to be traded. Thoughts? Well, we've done this conversation for months. And Smitty, remember they told us Giants aren't interested in him because they passed on him at 6.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what y'all told me. Giants would never trade for JJ McCarthy. They wouldn't even take him at 6. Okay. If JJ McCarthy demands a trade, the Giants will be the first team on the phone. I can promise you that. Promise you that.
What do you give up for JJ?
I would give up pick 34.
Okay.
I would pick
too.
34.
Absolutely.
I'd give up pick 34.
Kid went 11 last year and didn't play a game.
What pick do the Vikes have? Probably like 26?
Yeah, somewhere around there. We get the Vikes at 24.
Blitzism says you should make your own mock draft. You should subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on.
Bro, we got 9.0 out on the channel right now.
Mock draft 9.0, all 7 rounds went out on the channel yesterday. Go eat it up. Just Blaze! What's up, bro?
Blazing.
What's up, Marsh? Can you welcome the newest Giants fan to the chat? My son, Lil Just Blazing, was born 6 weeks ago.
Let's go.
Give me some LJBs in the chat. Little Just Blaze.
Just Blaze.
Shout out to my guy. Congrats to you, man. Congrats. That is awesome. Congratulations, man.
That's
Congratulations. Dope. And hopefully he sees the Giants have more success than we have in the last couple of years. All righty, let's talk free agency. Shout out to y'all. 415 people watching. 277 likes.
We've been live for an hour.
You guys are running up the super chats. I'm here to stay and talk ball all day long. If y'all want to keep the questions flying, we will stay here and we'll continue to chop it up. But I do ask everybody to please hit that thumbs up icon right now. And if you have liked the video, type me down below. Let's get this thing up to 400 likes. Let's do it. NFL free agency kicks off Monday morning. And I think the New York Giants are going to get busy. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 players that I would love to see the New York Giants target. I'm not saying sign all 5 of these guys. It'd be really cool if they did. But these are 5 guys that are my guys that I want to see be our guys. Free agency, though, we're going to be live Monday, Tuesday, and if you guys show up and show out, we'll be live all day Wednesday as well. And I don't want you to miss a thing. So go down right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn those notifications on. Welcome into New York Giants now by, I almost said welcome into New York Giants Drive. Welcome into New York Giants now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. One of my favorite times of the year is upon us, NFL free agency. We used to always talk about the NBA offseason being a lot more fun. The NFL has caught up, and I think they've even surpassed them. And I can't wait to see the football players that Joe Schoen adds to this team that hopefully wins us more games next year. He's got plenty of assets and plenty of resources to do so. Right now, the New York Giants are projected to have about $50 million in cap space, the 13th most in the National Football League. And I got to ask Joe Schoen a question at the NFL Scouting Combine. You can hear yourself.
Your introductory press conference, you said you think you could build a roster that can win today and compete for tomorrow. Entering year 4 as the Giants GM, where do you think you are in that process?
Yeah, we've got to be better. We were a 3-win team, so where we are financially, from a salary cap health standpoint, we're in good shape. We have premium draft capital, so not suffocating. We have the resources to improve the roster, and again, we made some decisions after that first year when we won, and they didn't work out. So again, we're where we are, and again, I feel like we have the resources to improve the roster, and that's what's exciting about this time of year.
Joe Schoen knows this is the time for him to go out and spend. He's been clearing the salary cap books up to this point for this moment. The Giants are one of 2 teams in the National Football League that have $0 allocated in void years. And I think they're going to dabble in that. Joe Schoen talked about how that could be on the table. And I expect them to be aggressive heading into NFL free agency. Because if the team doesn't get better and they don't add more talent, and they don't win more games, Joe Schoen will never be an NFL general manager ever again. 5 free agent targets. Aaron Rodgers, number 1 for me. If the Giants only sign one player in NFL free agency, I think I want it to be Aaron Rodgers. I understand he's 41. I understand he's got baggage. I understand he's a horrible person. I understand he's not anyone that anyone wants to be their quarterback. I would do nasty shit for 3,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. When is the last time the New York Giants have had a quarterback that did those type of things? Of all of the free agent quarterbacks that are available, Aaron Rodgers is the one, in my opinion, that can win them the most games in 2025. And Joe Schoen said, we want to get a quarterback that can win us the most games possible this year. We also want a veteran to mentor a young quarterback, and I'm willing to take a big swing at that position. Who does that sound like? Maybe a multi-time league MVP? Maybe a guy that still got it? Maybe a guy that could still spin it just as good as anybody in this league? For some reason, Aaron Rodgers was kind of looked at as someone that didn't have a good year last year. And I think that has more so to do that Nathaniel Hackett was calling plays for him, and that Rob Saleh was fired 4 games into the season, and the Jets defense that was supposed to be big and bad was an absolute joke. I thought Rodgers played pretty good. Throw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. 1 year removed from a torn Achilles. I think he's going to be better next year. And I would love to see him play for the New York Giants. And when you talk about, Marsh, I don't want Rodgers, well, then what free agent quarterback do you want? Do you want to give $100 million to Sam Darnold? I don't. Do you want Justin Fields? I don't. Russell Wilson is number 2 on my list. I have Rodgers 1 and Wilson 2. Do I want Jameis Winston? I'd be cool with Winston if I know for sure the Giants are getting Cam Ward. We don't know that. I'm not really interested in Zach Wilson at this point. I think there's some juice there, but he can't be my number 1 quarterback going into the offseason. Not really interested in Mac Jones. I like Marcus Mariota, but under the same circumstances as Winston. I need to know I'm getting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. And I like Drew Lock, but I don't want him back. So what free agent quarterback do you want the Giants to sign? Because I can guarantee you they are going to sign someone, because they only have Tommy DeVito on the roster right now. We just showed you the top 10 free agent quarterbacks. Which one do you want the Giants to sign? I'm going to go out and sign Rodgers, and then I'm also going to go out and sign Davante Adams. I think they're a package deal. A little buy one, maybe get one half off. Why would I not want to sign a receiver that's going to make my quarterback better? If I'm signing Rodgers, I need to do whatever it takes to make sure that he can have the most success possible. And that's adding a guy like Davante Adams, who they tell me Davante Adams is washed, right? 85 catches for almost 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. He spent half the season catching passes from Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Davante Adams could still get it done. Davante Adams can still play. And I think he's the best free agent wide receiver that is available, with the news that T. Higgins has been franchise tagged. If you're telling me my wide receiver 2 next year next to Malik Neighbors in 14 games puts up 85 catches for 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns, we are going to be popping champagne on this channel. And we know that Aaron Rodgers is better with Davante Adams. And if you're going to sign Rodgers, you got to go out and get him weapons that are going to work with him. And I would absolutely love that. And I want a wide receiver too that puts fear into the opposing defenses. I want someone that can get it done out there. Because I don't want to see Malik Neighbors double teamed every time. I don't want to see Malik Neighbors be the focal point of every single defensive scouting report, week in and week out. And Neighbors said, I want to play with Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Said he watched a lot of Kupp, learned a lot from him, watching him at LSU. You think he learned something from Davante Adams? I would love that. I would absolutely love it. And I love it even more when I look at the top free agent receivers. T. Higgins is gone. He's been franchise tagged. You're not getting him. I've heard that Chris Godwin is going back. I've heard Chris Godwin's going back to the Bucs. You're going to spend big on Amari Cooper? Adams is better than Cooper. Adams is better than Diggs. Adams is better than Hopkins. I don't want Marquise Hollywood Brown. I don't want Darius Slayton. Oh, listen on Keenan Allen. I've heard he wants to go back to the West Coast. Deontay Johnson was traded like 4 times last year and cut 4 times. Mike Williams, no. Like, of the free agent wide receivers, if you want a good one, he's the best one. And he's the best friends of the quarterback that the Giants are interested in, Aaron Rodgers. If your offense is Rodgers, Adams, and Neighbors, we're going to have more fun on Sundays than we've had in a decade. And that's about what I'm looking for at this point. I got 3 more players I'm going to talk about on today's show that are my guys heading into free agency. First, though, if you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, you're ready to get on track, and you're ready to eat good, clean, fresh meals, get hooked up with Factor. Go to factormeals.com/factorpodcast and get 50% off your first order. I live a very busy lifestyle. I don't always know where my next meal is coming from. I cover the Giants and I cover the Knicks here at Chat Sports, and my days are wonky and they're all over the place. But my life is a lot more smooth sailing when I have Factor in the fridge at home. And I love that Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared and are perfect for any active or busy lifestyle. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FactorPodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FactorPodcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box today. Another player that I really want to see the Giants target in NFL free agency is Will Fries, the right guard from the Indianapolis Colts. You guys know that I was pushing the Trey Smith agenda harder than anybody that talks about the New York Giants for a living. Unfortunately, Trey Smith has had the franchise tag placed on him, and I don't think he's leaving Kansas City, especially after the Chiefs just traded Joe Thuney. They're going to pay him the big bucks, which makes Will Fries the number 1 available right guard. And at 26 years old, I'm a big fan. I understand that he broke his leg in week 5, but man, in those first 4.5 games, he was awesome. And I also like that every single year he has gotten better. The PFF grade from 2021 to 2022 to 2023 all rose. And this past year, he was great. 87 overall grade, 75 grade pass blocking, 85 run blocking, and just 2 sacks allowed. 2023 allowed 4 sacks in 17 games. Like, he's the best of the bunch, and the Giants, they need the best of the bunch at that right guard spot. There's been a lot of talk about the Giants fixing the O-line. How do you fix the O-line when your left tackle, your left guard, your center, and your right tackle are returning? You spend big at the right guard spot, and you get 2 quality depth pieces. That is how you fix the offensive line, which I don't understand how that considers fixing it. And when you look at the other top guards in free agency, who are you going to go out and get? I love Tevin Jenkins when he plays. Thing is, he's missed more than 35% of his snaps in his career. Zeitler, once a Giant, always a Giant. Shout out to Dave Gettleman for cutting him to create more money to sign Golladay. I really like James Daniels as well. He's on my list. Mekhi Becton, is he a guy that's only going to be good for the Eagles? Brandon Scherf, he's once really good on Madden. Now he's a little older. Zach Martin is retired. I've heard Patrick McCarry is someone to keep your eyes on. And a report came out that Aaron Banks might get $20 million. And if the Giants pay Aaron Banks $20 million, I am going to crash out because he's really not that good of a football player. Fries is the best of the best. You need a right guard, especially if you're going to draft a rookie quarterback, because nothing matters until the O-line matters. And it's time to make the O-line matter again. Haven't talked about this player on the show before. Milton Williams, the interior defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are going to bring him back. And maybe they do. Maybe Howie Roseman finds a way to manipulate the cap once again, and he goes out and he gives another major bag to another major playmaker. At 6'3", 290 pounds, and just 25 years old, he's coming off his best season. He was awesome in the Super Bowl. He was one of the most integral pieces of that Philadelphia Eagles defense. and he is known for being an interior pass rusher, something this New York Giants team could use next to Dexter Lawrence. This is a guy that had 24 tackles last year, 5 sacks from the interior spot. I think he's someone that's going to continue to get better. He had 40 pressures last year, graded out as one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. And right now, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got Brian Burns, and you got Kayvon Thibodeau. Those are great building blocks on the defensive line. How about you turn one of your strengths into maybe the strongest unit in the National Football League? You win in the trenches. The closer you play to the ball makes you that much more important. Doesn't matter if you have Patrick Mahomes back there, if you can't block Milton Williams, who was great in that game. I do want to say this, though. The 2025 defensive tackle class in the NFL draft is absolutely stacked. So if Joe Schoen wants to go out and pick a D tackle at 34 instead of spending big on one, I can completely understand that. But at minimum, you need to walk away with a defensive tackle that you are confident that could start football games for you next year. And there's some good ones in free agency. Osa Odighizuwa is back to the Cowboys. You got Levi coming from the Detroit Lions. B.J. Hill, once a Giant, always a Giant. Calais Campbell is still getting it done at 55 years old. Jaron Reed, someone that's had some success this year. I think Poona Ford is one of my value defensive tackles that I love as a run stopper. Wharton from the Chiefs is okay. Tart's a solid player, and DJ Jones was once good. Like maybe you don't want to spend the bag on a defensive tackle and you want to go out and you add one in the NFL draft, I'd be cool with that. But if you're going to splurge on a defensive lineman or splurge on a defensive player, Milton Williams, he's at the top of my list. And you got to go out and get a corner. And Charvarius Ward has been my guy all offseason long at that corner position. I'm a huge fan of his game. I was a fan of his game when he was a part of the Kansas City Chiefs. I love that he's played in big moments, or he was a part of a team that was in big moments. He got to see what winning habits, how those were created, and a culture and a winning environment looked like. And he has been awesome for the San Francisco 49ers. Had a little bit of a step back this year. If you know about Charvarius Ward, you know he had some major family problems. His 1-year-old baby died this past year. And he has come out and said, it wasn't my best year. I wasn't focused. I wasn't able to focus on football. He said being out on the West Coast kind of triggers him of that. And that's a horrific experience. And if he is going to leave the 49ers, I'd love to go out and sign him. 23 pass breakups in 2023. 5 interceptions. He was an all-pro in 2023. And he's been good for a large part of his career. Still just 28 years old. Can be a legit CB1 and mentor a guy like Deonte Banks. Top 10 in PFF coverage grade in 2023. Top 13 in 2022. Again, his worst year yet for off-the-field reasons. Someone that I have at the top of my list when it comes to corners. Other free agent corners, I've heard the Giants are interested in DJ Reed. I've heard the Giants are interested in Byron Murphy. And I've pretty much been told the Giants are going to spend big at a corner this offseason. My top 3 are Reed, Ward, and Murphy. My sleeper is Paulson Adebo. I'm a big fan of his. Had some good times and some good games and some good moments with the New Orleans Saints. He's coming off a big injury. If you want to swing for the fences on a buy low player, it's Paulson Adebo for me. If you're ready for NFL free agency, hit that thumbs up icon. We're like 4 sleeps away from getting to find out if Joe Schoen's going to make this football team any better heading into next year. Hit that thumbs up icon. And make sure you are following me on social media. The first place you're going to hear about New York Giants news during free agency is on my Twitter. So give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_. Nick Jones, $5 super chat. What's up, my man?
$5 super chat coming in from Nick Jones. Thank you so much, brother. Says, unable to get Ward. They could trade down with the Raiders. We swap first-round picks. Send Kayvon for Max. No. That's
Max Crosby just signed an extension.
Yep.
He's going to be a Raider for life.
Yep.
Max Crosby is a Raider. They're not trading him. They just signed him to an extension. It's like not even possible to trade him at this time. Yeah. Unfortunately, Max Crosby's a hell of a football player. I'd love for him to be a Giant.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Kenya says, get Ward at all cost. Sign Winston and tank for Arch. I've got bigger hopes than Jameis Winston and tanking for Arch. It's time to win some football games.
Yep.
The Giants don't tank, guys. They won Week 17 against the Colts.
For the culture.
For the culture, which we're about to talk about. Some NFL writers think it's going to cost the Giants pick 34, a third-round pick, and a future first to move up 2 spots. But hey, how about that culture? Rob says, I still want another left tackle in case for depth if something happens to Thomas. I would be looking at a right tackle because I think Jermaine Illuminor, I don't think you're going to be able to find a better backup left tackle than Jermaine Illuminor. And if Thomas gets hurt, you just bump Illuminor to left tackle and then you slide someone into right tackle. That's how I would operate. I know Jermaine wants to be a left tackle. He's played left tackle before with the Raiders. He's also played left tackle for the Giants last year. I thought he did a pretty damn good job. But yeah, you need some insurance behind Thomas, no doubt about it, Rob Jigga. Would I sign Jonathan Allen if he's released? I'd be interested. Why are we not trying Neal at right guard? We don't know if the Giants are trying Neal at right guard or not. There's been no practices since the season ended, so we don't know. Need tackle depth? Yep, you do. You got to get a tackle. If Joe gets sacked, are you going for the GM job? I can tell you this. We'd have a little better of a roster. Wouldn't be scared. Wouldn't be sitting on our hands. Wouldn't be one of 2 teams not using salary cap loopholes. Did you hear Joe Schoen wants to trade for Jair? I did not hear that. Where'd you hear that? Are you asking if I heard that, or are you telling me that that's happened? Because I haven't heard anything about that. Still have to sign a right guard? Absolutely. You got to sign a starter. Got to sign a starting right guard. All righty, what do we got? Draft rumors?
Yeah, draft rumors. Got a super chat though. A couple super chats rolling in though before we get to it.
Let's do it. Shout out to y'all, man.
There we go. Mr. Friolero.
My guy, what's up, man? You convinced me. A-Rod with Adams and Dart. Well, I didn't convince anyone at Dart. But I do want Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. That's plan 1 for me at this point in free agency.
So if that's your plan 1, then you're picking Hunter at 3, or are you still going Sanders or whoever's there?
If Cam Ward is there at 3, I would take him.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Sanders, Hunter a conversation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hunter and Sanders would be a conversation. Like, I would be interested. I would be in on taking Sanders there too because, I like the idea of a quarterback learning behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, though. Edit Master, what's happening, man? Hey, Marsh, my buddy keeps saying you can't get a guy like Rodgers to mentor Ward. Thoughts? I just disagree. I would love for Cam Ward to sit in the film room for an entire season with Aaron Rodgers and watch how he watches film. Watch how Aaron Rodgers checks at the line of scrimmage. Watch how Aaron Rodgers gets his team into the best play every single time. And I think Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He was just cut by the New York Jets. That's humbling.
Yeah.
It's a big slice of humble pie right there.
You're right.
And I think he's going to want to come back and show people he's still got it. And I think he'd like to look at Mr. Johnson over there with the Jets and say, you were wrong. I could still play.
No doubt.
I don't know. That's just where I'm at on that. I just don't like what's the better option?
Giants have had one. It didn't really work out all that well, but they have had one quarterback to ever win an MVP play for them. Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. Yeah, I mean,
He was the bridge to Eli.
he was.
Eli, number 1 pick, who didn't start right away.
Eli did not start right away.
I read all about that transition in my 4th grade Eli Manning autobiography book report.
Love that. What's one thing you think you know about Eli Manning that we don't?
Oof! Oh my gosh! I don't. That's basically the only thing I remember from the damn book. I have nothing. Oh my god. The funny thing about Eli is like there used to be such a public persona that he was a wet blanket and like didn't have a personality and was like awkward to talk to if you met him in person. And now he's like the most personable guy ever.
Yeah.
Maybe that was Peyton getting in his ear. Maybe he had some more media training after retiring. But he's a public figure now. He never really was that. It felt like he was the man in New York and he won football games. He wasn't really like the public figure face in New York.
He was not. He was not.
I'll take Super Bowls, though. You don't have to be that.
That's the thing, Marsh. If we draft Ward, my guy tells me the Giants will start him after Thanksgiving. I would just say this. How do they know that if they haven't even had him in a practice? I'm not trying to diminish what your guy told you, but, like, how can the Giants even know that?
To assume that's already decided.
They met with him for the first time last week.
Yep.
That was the first time that Joe Schoen and Brian Dable and the Giants front office sat down and talked to Cam Ward. I don't understand how that And if it is decided, you're fired.
Yeah, you're
How
fired.
are you deciding it if he's not even on your team and you haven't even seen him throw a ball in a Giants jersey?
Fireable offense. Fireable offense. So.
Did I know the Giants re-signed Casey Kreider? I did. Did y'all guys want a video on the Giants re-signing their long snapper? I wasn't going to waste my time.
Ridiculous.
All righty, let's talk NFL draft because everyone else is saying the Giants are going to trade up to number 1. So
we can get into that.
Let's talk about that. Cha in the building. What's going on, Mr. Rick?
Mr. Rick, good to see you, brother.
My man, shout to Cha. All right, let's get into it. Everybody is saying the Giants are going to trade up to number 1. And I think they just might. We're going to react to ESPN and their most recent mock draft where they had the Giants trading up to number 1. And then we're going to go and hear from maybe 15 NFL insiders that all think it's going to happen. And I think now it is more likely than not the Giants are going to be picking number 1. And I saw betting odds that the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans have the same odds to make the first selection in the NFL draft. Jordan Reed of ESPN putting out a mock draft yesterday saying this: a projected trade, the Giants leap into the top spot. With Matthew Stafford agreeing to return to the Rams, the Giants' 2025 quarterback options seem to be down to Aaron Rodgers or drafting a quarterback of the future. We are projecting the latter here, with New York sending its first rounder and second rounder in this draft and its third round pick at 2026 to the Titans to have their own choice of Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Reed then has the Giants drafting Cam Ward, saying a team hasn't traded up from number 3 to number 1 since 1975 when the Falcons moved up to select quarterback Steve Bartkowski. Several sources at the Combine told me the Giants are exploring multiple options at quarterback, but the Giants can't exit this draft without their QB of the future. Holding the number 3 pick in a draft with 2 surefire first-round quarterbacks means New York might have to trade up for a concrete chance at either of them. Ward is the top QB of this class. His combination of physical ability, improvisational skills, and poise in big moments make him an ideal selection for Coach Brian Dable. His 88.7 QBR was second in the FBS, and his 29 completions of 20-plus air yards tied for 5th. So Reed has the New York Giants trading a first-rounder this year, a second-rounder this year, and a third-rounder next year to move up to number 1. And that is kind of what a lot of people think it might cost. Dane Brugler, my opinion, the best NFL draft guy in the business, lead NFL draft analyst for The Athletic, said this: packaging a pair of day 2 picks to move up from number 3 to number 1 likely would be enough to put Ward in a Giants jersey. So Brugler and Reed saying it's going to take multiple day 2 picks. Well, Jason of Over the Cap, one of the best salary cap websites out there, he disagrees. He said this: so what might it cost the Giants to move up to the top pick this year? They hold the 3rd overall pick, which is a big help. To get to that 3,000-point premium, you would probably be looking at giving up the 3rd overall pick, 34th overall pick, along with next year's first-round pick and third-round pick. And Dan Duggan says this feels much more in line with the cost to trade up to 3 than 1 than some packages that have been floated. If the New York Giants have to give up pick 34 and a future first-round pick to move up 2 spots in the NFL draft, I am out. I'm not giving up a future first-round pick to move up 2 spots in the NFL draft. I don't care what it costs. I will not do that. That makes no sense. Jordan Reed also saying this: based on the intel I gathered at the Combine, Tennessee will explore trading down while staying in range to pick the first non-QB off of the board. And I can echo what Jordan Reed says. I was told at the Combine that the Titans want to select either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Jordan on saying this: multiple people around the NFL believe the New York Giants trading for the number 1 pick with the Titans is likely with the intent to draft Miami quarterback Cam Ward. Renan also saying he thinks the Giants have a 62% chance at landing the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I wonder how he came to 62%. Paul Schwartz of the New York Post writing this: I think they will want to try to trade up to number 1 to get Cam Ward. However, they don't know if that's possible. Dan Graziano of ESPN saying this: many believe Tennessee is interested in trading out of the number 1 pick, and the New York Giants and Jets are among teams believed to be interested in moving up. Ian Rappaport: the Giants are expected to have interest in trading with the Titans for the number 1 overall pick. Everyone under the sun is saying the New York Giants are going to trade up to the number 1 pick. And Daniel Jeremiah kind of hints that maybe they don't have to. DJ writing: there's a lot of folks around the league that believe if the Titans stick at number 1, that the pick will be Abdul Carter. Does Joe Schoen have the stones to call the bluff of the Tennessee Titans? Dane Brugler put out his first post-Combine NFL mock draft, and he had the Giants trading up to number 1 to select Cam Ward. So Jordan Reed, post-Combine mock, has the Giants trading up. Dane Brugler, post-Combine mock, has the Giants trading up. Where there is smoke, there is fire, and this is a bonfire. The New York Giants cards have been shown. Everyone figured out they wanted to trade up for Matthew Stafford, and they tried everything they could, like even giving Stafford $100 million guaranteed and giving up the 34th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Ultimately, Stafford said no. Now they turn to plan number 2. Do what it takes to get Cam Ward. Do you want him to do that? Do you want the Giants to trade up to the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft? If you do, hit that thumbs up icon. If you don't, tell me why down below. I follow this guy on Twitter that on February 27th said this: my Giants QB prediction based off what I heard at the Combine is if the Giants can't land Matthew Stafford in a trade, they will trade up to the number 1 overall pick. Oh, wait, that's me. I said that. And Benjamin Albright also saying, would not be surprised to see a trade in the top 5 of this draft to get to number 1. A large trade, a giant one, Titanic, if you will. This is going to start to pick up quickly. There is way too much noise about the Giants moving on for this to be just fake and for these to be just rumors. We have heard that the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans I don't want to say we have heard, Chat Sports. There are rumors out there that Giants and Titans have agreed to a framework of a deal that would send Kayvon Thibodeau to Tennessee and Harold Landry back to the New York Giants. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just telling you what the streets are saying. Teron Davenport, who covers the NFL, quote tweeted Jordan Schultz, who said the Titans will host Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders and Miami QB Cam Ward this week in their facility. Tennessee holds the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft and are undergoing a thorough evaluation process. Davenport adding, the Titans will also host Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter early next week. Their goal is to have visits with the top 4 prospects before the start of free agency on Wednesday, March 12th. This thing is about to get rolling. I think the Titans want Carter or Hunter. I do. From people I talked to, from things I heard at the Combine, and kind of just me putting the puzzle pieces together. If the Tennessee Titans loved Cam Ward, why would there be all this smoke about them trading down? If the Tennessee Titans loved Cam Ward, why would they just not come out and say we're not trading down? And if they loved him, why would they be entertaining a trade down idea? The Bears didn't. The Bears picked number 1 last year. They were never trading down from Caleb Williams. There were never even rumors of them trading down. The Washington Commanders, they wanted Jaden Daniels the entire time. There were never rumors of them because they never even flirted with the idea of trading down. Leads me to believe that the Tennessee Titans are unsure and maybe value Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter more. I go back to what their general manager and front office said weeks ago. We want a generational player with the number 1 overall pick. After the top 30 meetings that the Tennessee Titans have with Ward, with Sanders, with Carter, and Hunter, we're going to know a lot more about this situation. I think there's a world where this time next week, the Giants could have already made the trade because there's not much more time to wait. Make sure you are hooked up with a Malik Neighbors jersey and ready to rock and roll for the 2025 NFL season. Chatsports.com/neighbors. Chatsports.com/neighbors. Get your jersey today. From what I understand and what I have been told and what I have uncovered, Cam Ward is actually QB1 for the New York Giants. The smoke screen of Shedeur Sanders may have just been that, a smoke screen. Everyone in the NFL at the Combine had Cam Ward as the number 1 QB. But now reports are coming out that the Browns may have Shedeur Sanders as QB1. Could Sanders go number 2? Mary Kay, who has been covering the Cleveland Browns for a very long time, wrote this. The Browns first met with Sanders one-on-one at the East-West Shrine Bowl in January and came away impressed. They didn't find him to be arrogant or brash, but confident and engaging. They liked all of the good things his Hall of Fame dad poured into him, but appreciated that he's his own man. He exhibited the excellent leadership qualities they're looking for in a QB, as did Ward, whom they also like a lot. They also formally interviewed Sanders at the Combine, where neither he nor Ward worked out, and cemented what they already knew, that Sanders has what it takes to lead the franchise if they draft him. Kevin Stefanski also received a glowing report on him from his former Vikings colleague, Pat Shurmur, the former Browns head coach who spent the last 2 years as Sanders' OC at Colorado. The Browns will get to know Sanders a lot better this week during his visit and will attend his pro day at Colorado and possibly conduct a private workout. But nothing happened at the Combine to change their good first impression of Sanders. In fact, it only confirmed that one man's brash is another man's treasure. Adam Schefter a couple of weeks ago said the thing he is most certain about in the NFL draft is the Cleveland Browns selecting a quarterback. And Joe Schoen knows that if the Browns are taking a QB, he may be out one, but he may be without one at pick number 3. And he knows he can't leave round 1 without a QB because if he does, he'll be leaving 1925 Giants Drive in January of 2026 without a job. This is why it was dumb to keep Joe Schoen. And it's not because I think Joe Schoen is a horrible general manager, which I don't think he's the best. But why would you keep a general manager on the hot seat with a mandate that you have to get a quarterback? Just doesn't seem like the smartest thing in the world to do. There's really only two ways that Joe Schoen keeps his job. Two ways. The Giants win more games than they're supposed to, or they end the season with the feeling that they got the right guy at the quarterback position from the 2025 NFL draft. Those are the only two ways. The only two ways. You win more games than you're supposed to, or if you don't win more games, you walk out of Week 18 with the feeling, we got our guy. What's the best way to give yourself the best chance to leave the season with that feeling? Drafting your number one QB in this draft. And that's Cam Ward. And I think the Giants are going to trade up to number one. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue. Woo!
Mealy Potatoes with a $5 super chat. MP, what up?
What's up, bro? Wilson and Rodgers are narcissists. Do you think they would be competent playing behind Ward or Sanders? I think both of them would be signed with the idea that they are the starter at the moment and they are the bridge quarterback for the rookie. That's how I kind of look at it. If you tell them they're going to be the backup, yeah, they're probably not going to sign. That's why Russell Wilson didn't sign here last year, because the Giants told him that he would be the backup to Daniel Jones. You don't sign Aaron Rodgers to be the backup.
No. He wouldn't like that very much.
I don't even think you signed Russell Wilson to be the backup.
I don't think you do. Russell Wilson's going to be the week one starter if you sign him.
Yep. Russell and Rodgers will be week one starters if you sign him. What's up, Mr. Friolero? If Ward isn't available and we don't trade up, who? Well, matters who. Say Cam Ward goes one, who goes two? Carter? And I really have a conversation at Travis Hunter or Shador Sanders.
Would you have a conversation between Abdul Carter or Shador Sanders?
No. I'm taking Sanders over Carter. You can get a pass rusher any year.
Yeah.
You can get a pass rusher any year. I'm confident in taking Shador at number 3. I think he's good enough to be a good quarterback in this league. Is he good enough to be an MVP of this league? I don't know. Maybe not. Is he good enough to win a lot of games and change your culture and get you right on track? I think so. I'll get Smitty one in 2025 if he behaves. What'd he do?
Wait.
Oh, a Giants Cup.
Oh, is it Mr. Rick?
Mr. Rick gave me a nice Giants Cup.
I would love that. That'd be awesome. You've been so generous already, Mr. Rick. I really appreciate you, man. I just got one of my latest pieces of Giants merch. First time, long time that I picked up some Giants apparel, and decided to take advantage of a deal on Fanatics.
Blue's your color, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It really brings out my eyes.
Yeah. I also told you blue and orange is your color too.
No. Because that's the Mets, and I can't be rocking that. And I know you like those two colors, but
Dragonbot says opinion on Okereke news. Not shocked, because we told you guys over a month ago he could be cut. That's why you subscribe.
Yeah.
That's why you subscribe. Yeah, let's just jump into it real quick.
I'm just gonna try to get a
start with like a DK.
Yeah. All right. There's a lot of questions, so like a lot of super chat questions. So I just gotta sort through the ones that are good.
Yeah, the ones that you think are best.
And I don't want to go on the same topics too much,
Yeah, not for sure. We're gonna jump into a mailbag to close today's live show. If you want to get your question in the mailbag, at this point you're gonna have to send in a super chat. What are you doing? Allie Barefoot needs to get out of our studio. Shout out to y'all. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. 350 likes. Can we get to 400? Can we get to 400 likes?
That'd be crazy.
That'd be chills.
Chills. All right, there is one. This one cool?
Yeah. I have a question for you guys. If you ran into Joe Schoen in the bathroom at dinner, what would you say to him? If you were at dinner and you ran into Joe Schoen at the bathroom, what would you say to him? And I don't want any of your tough guy responses. What would you say to him?
Get real.
Saber says knock him out.
Knock him out. That's crazy.
If you ran into Joe Schoen at the bathroom at dinner, what would you say to him? Justin says, do whatever it takes to get your quarterback in this year's draft. I would tell him he's in trouble. He needs to really listen to the fans more. Y'all are saying this to his face.
You're not. Trust me.
Don't F this up even more.
Oh, you're down. Yeah.
Patrick says he'll say hello.
Yes.
Brian says, wow.
You would say, hello, Joe. Very nice to meet you. How are you doing? Well, in the bathroom, I don't know. The conversations don't go that long in the bathroom. You got a split second. You got to give him whatever, however you're feeling. First thing that pops into your head.
Gilly, WTF, are you in this bathroom? Because a girl's bathroom? Is that why he's... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That
makes sense.
Good answer, Gilly.
For the ladies that are watching, if you were coming out of the bathroom at the exact same time as Joe Schoen, what would you say to him if you saw him? Why were you so bad at drafting? You're not asking Joe Schoen that in person in the restroom. I don't care how tough you think you are, Gabriel. Cha says, I have a lot to say. Most of it profane.
Yeah. I know a lot of people feel that way. Boss up when you see him face to face, and I'll believe some of you guys.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a lot different when you see him face to face. I'll tell you that much.
Again, I feel like it's also different than like your average celebrity too. Like it's not like you are a little bit more shell shocked. Like this is the guy that runs your football team and honestly determines a lot of the mental health in your life.
Yeah, he determines a lot about my life.
Yes.
Rob says, Joe, can I have a job? Nick says, man, your seat is hot.
Hot seat.
Compliment his watch while he's at the urinal.
Kind of baller move. That's probably something that would stick out.
Why is our best player wearing green? LOL. How did you honestly feel when Saquon Barkley went off this year?
Kings. WTI, $10 super chat. What up, brother?
What's up, man? Do you like the idea of Allen Lazard and Rodgers if Adam can't come over to Big Blue? If Aaron Rodgers wants Allen Lazard as wide receiver 6, I'm cool with it.
He'd be like a wide receiver 4.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Weeda Plug says, I would say just go away. That sounds everybody's all big and bad.
Everybody thinks that they're boss up until you see Big Joe in the bathroom.
Indy Green made Joe Schoen stutter on a short last week. Cha loved it. He was kind of frazzled by my question. I'm not gonna lie. He was, and I didn't even mean to ask it to like stump him. I seriously wanted to know. You said you can build a roster that can win today and compete for tomorrow.
Where are you?
Where are we? We're entering year 4. Are we at the part where we're winning today, or are we still building for tomorrow? I don't got tomorrow. I'd be fine with Lazard. You could do a lot worse than Lazard. Jaden Rossi, yo, banking on Dart dropping to us feels super risky. Yeah. Banking on a round 2 quarterback to save your franchise. That doesn't seem like the smartest thing.
How many times has that worked out?
Not often. Jaden Rossi again. What's up, homie? Do you think bringing in Adams with Rodgers could be risky because he may neglect neighbors like he did with Garrett Wilson? Adams is like AR's drug. Jaden Rossi, I love that you just asked this question, my man. Because that is the belief, Smitty. That Aaron Rodgers hated Garrett Wilson once Davante Adams got there, right? That Davante Adams became their wide receiver one, right? Yeah. Garrett Wilson's 17-game stats pace, right? Before Adams got there, he was on pace to have 116 catches for 1,131 yards and 9 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson's 17-game pace with Davante Adams, 94 catches, 1,095 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
So the same player.
So the exact same player.
Yeah.
More explosive.
More explosive.
More explosive.
More yards per catch.
More yards per catch and 2 less touchdowns. No, I'm not worried about that at all. Malik Neighbors said he wanted to play with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. They're 2 peas in a pod as well. No, I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not. Like, I would rather win games with Malik Neighbors having 100 catches than lose games with Malik Neighbors having 130 catches. Yeah, if you see one that's fit, throw one in, but I don't really got one. Maybe should the Giants trade for DK or something? I like it off the top, yeah. Mealy Potato says, wouldn't say shit, just a nod. I bet he smells like that Michael Jordan cologne. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little different when you're staring Joe in the face, I'll tell you that much. RC Skit says, you see the post about Giants possibly interested in Jair? I have not. Who's tweeting about Jair Alexander and the Giants? Because I haven't seen anyone say anything about it. Jordan On says, I would keep an eye on Jair Alexander if he happens to shake free. I expect the Giants to look into him. So that's where everyone's seeing it from. Joe Schoen's not 6'3". I'll tell you that much. Joe Schoen's not 6'3". We were seeing eye to eye. We were seeing eye to eye. He's actually only 5'10", so he's shorter than me. He's 5'10". He's shorter than me. Is it a fake page? No. Jordan On says, I would keep an eye on Jair Alexander if he happens to shake free. I expect the Giants to look into him. Gabriel says, wasn't he on a podium? Maybe I saw him somewhere else too, Gabriel. Maybe I saw him in the bathroom. Rumor Smitty is going to be the host of Chat Sports Jets channel. My heart is broken.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. We do have a host already for that. It might break your heart as well.
Yeah, you already know who the host is.
You've met him before.
What team does Jair Alexander play for? The Packers.
He's on the verge of getting cut, right?
Yeah, cut or traded. And when everyone knows you're trading someone, you probably don't get to trade.
Probably getting cut.
Let me look up Jair Alexander's contract. If the Giants were to trade for Jair Alexander, he would have a cap hit of $16.1 million this year. Pretty low for a CB1. Who hosts Chat Sports Jets? Your boy. Your boy.
OG
Mr.
before
Rick.
me.
Your boy. Patrick Seaman. Patrick Seaman's hosting the Jets channel now.
Yep.
Vikings and Jets. He's two NFL teams now.
He just loves Brett Favre. Just loves him.
All right, mailbag time here on the channel. Let's talk about it. Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. I've already been asked about 100 different times. Marsh, should the New York Giants trade for DK Metcalf? And let's go Giants. Send in a $2 super chat during our live show that aired on Wednesday. The Giants better trade for DK. Before I give you my thoughts on DK Metcalf, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Giants should trade for DK? I believe it would cost you pick 34, and you're going to probably have to give him a contract close to 3 years and $80 million. Type T for trade, type P for pass. Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Let's start with this question from my guy, Let's Go Giants. Been a lot of rumors about DK Metcalf. On Wednesday, he met with the Seattle Seahawks, and they came to an agreement that they are going to pursue a separation, and they are going to pursue moving him in a trade. And now everybody wants to know if the Giants should trade for him. Let's start with this. New York absolutely needs a wide receiver too. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to DK, I don't know if I love the idea of trading a second-round pick and giving him $70 to $80 million and him being your wide receiver too. The Giants need all the draft picks they can get. I would rather sign a guy like Davante Adams for 2 years, keep pick 34, and use those picks to improve this team instead of packaging a pick and major money for DK. Jordan Renan did say early on in the offseason he expects the Giants to be aggressive in trying to find a weapon and a playmaker. And that's exactly what DK Metcalf is. He's been in the NFL for 6 seasons, and he's never had less than 900 yards. 900 yards, 1,300 yards, 967, 1,048, 1,114, and 992. He is a really good player. I'm not saying he's not. And he's still just 27 years old. I just think where the Giants are at roster building wise, it would be a little bit more wise to go and buy a free agent wide receiver with the assets that you have and use pick 34 to improve somewhere else. Put it like this. Would you rather have Davante Adams and the best defensive tackle on the board at pick 34 for less money than DK Metcalf? Or would you rather just have DK Metcalf? For me, I'll take the receiver who I think is better than DK and Davante, and I'll take that trench baby at 34, who hopefully could be one of the best defensive tackles in the league playing next to Dexter Lawrence. DK is a really good player, absolutely. But when you have to understand, when you have to trade a pick, a priority pick, and give up premium dollars for him, I don't love that idea at this moment. Cody, what's up, my man? Says, my master plan, I want your opinion on it. All right. Says, don't trade up to number 1. Pick up Rodgers and Adams in free agency. Stay at 3 and pick up Travis Hunter. Round 2, pick up Dart. If you leave the NFL draft and free agency with Rodgers, Adams, Hunter, and Jackson Dart, that's a pretty damn good offseason for Joe Schoen. You still need a right guard. You still need a defensive tackle. But overall, I like it. I personally am not that high on Jackson Dart, but I like the idea of him sitting behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers. And as you guys know, my dream in free agency is to go get Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Brandon, what's happening, my man? Just heard on X that Mike Florio said that if Sam Darnold re-signs with the Vikes, JJ may ask to be traded. Thoughts? I don't hate it. Look, if JJ McCarthy is available for a trade, I'm calling. And I'm making an aggressive offer. I'll give you pick 34. I'll give you pick 34 for JJ McCarthy. I would. I like JJ coming out. I have Cam Ward ranked above JJ. And I have similar grades on JJ and Shador. But I like JJ McCarthy being the face of my organization. I like him being the leader. I like him being the captain. I like him being the heartbeat of my football team. I'm biased. I've known JJ since he was 17 years old. I got to cover him when he was a senior at IMG Academy playing football there. I got to interview him. I like what he's got. I like what he's made of. I think he's a damn good football player as well. If he requests a trade, yeah, the Giants should absolutely call. Mike G, what's happening, my man? You got the messages in the game, bro. Who is the guy the Giants signed in free agency that we haven't heard a lot about? I don't know. What about a guy on the D-line like Milton Williams from the Philadelphia Eagles? Maybe one of the best interior defensive linemen when it comes to pass rushing in the NFL. The Giants need a D-lineman. He can get after the quarterback. 5 sacks this past year playing in Philly. 40 pressures. Still just 25 years old. If you want to turn your defensive line of Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau into one of the best D-lines in the league, and something that every team is going to fear when they got to play the Giants, Milton Williams could be that guy. Michael, what's up, bro? Thank you for the super chat. Something tells me Tennessee wants Cam Ward and won't trade with the Giants. If Titans go Ward, Browns go Hunter, who would you want the Giants to select? For me, in this situation, I'm taking Shador Sanders. I think Shador could be a very good pro. He has what I like in a quarterback. The ability to win under pressure. The ability to navigate a muddy pocket. The ability to beat the blitz. I think he is an extremely smart quarterback. In the way that he owned the podium at the NFL Combine, it won me over. I think he's a star. I do. And I think he has everything you want in a quarterback. He's got a good enough arm. He throws with good anticipation. Maybe the most accurate QB in the class. And he turned around Jackson State. He turned around Colorado. What's to make me believe he's not going to do it again? I like Shador Sanders a lot. I do. Gus Nini, what about signing Tyler Lockett? I'm good on Tyler Lockett at this point. I'm not interested in a 5'10", aging, veteran wide receiver that gives you nothing after the catch. I'm good on that. Kings, what's up, man? Do you like the idea of Allen Lazard and Aaron Rodgers if Adams can't come over to Big Blue? If Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback and he wants Allen Lazard here, just bring him in. If you're going to commit to the Aaron Rodgers experience, if you're going to go all in on Mr. Ayahuasca, you do whatever you have to do to make sure he's comfortable and is going to be the best quarterback he could be. Like, once you get in that bed, put the blanket over, get the pillow you want, and go to sleep. You don't half-ass Aaron Rodgers. If you want Rodgers, get the players he wants that are going to make him be successful. If it's Davante Adams, hell yeah. If it's Allen Lazard, sure. I don't understand why that's such a big sticking point. Not saying you're making it that, but yeah, I want the players that the quarterback is most comfortable playing with. So I want the quarterback to be the best he can. And if that's with Lazard, if that's with Rodgers and Adams, sure, sign me up. Got more questions to get to from subscribers. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Factor. Go to factormeals.com/factorpodcast and get 50% off your first box today. Pick your pre-made meals. They're prepped and cooked to perfection. You can heat and eat in 2 minutes. If you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, ready to have chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy, get hooked up with Factor. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can feel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. I'm someone that lives a busy life. I work a lot. I don't always know where my next meal is coming from, and I don't always have enough time to make sure I'm eating the best. But when I have Factor in the fridge at home, my life's a lot easier, my life's on a better schedule, and I'm eating better, and I'm feeling better. So be like me and eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box today. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and the description of today's video. Jane Rossi, what's up, my man? Appreciate you stopping by. says, do you think bringing in Adams could be risky because he may neglect neighbors like he did with Garrett Wilson? Adams is like Aaron Rodgers' drug. I do not think that would be a problem whatsoever. Because listen to this. Garrett Wilson, prior to Davante Adams showing up, if you stretch his stats over a 17-game sample size, he would have had 116 catches for 1,131 yards and 9 touchdowns. 116, 1,130, 9 touchdowns. If you take the games that Garrett Wilson played with Davante Adams and you stretch that over a 17-game sample size, 94 catches, 1,095 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So 2 less touchdowns, more yards per catch, and still 1,100 yards. I'm not worried about that at all. Edit Master, what's up, man? Hey, Marsh, my buddy keeps saying you can't get a guy like Rodgers to mentor Ward. Thoughts? I just disagree. Aaron Rodgers knows what it's like to be a bad teammate, to be a bad veteran, to be a bad mentor, to not help a young quarterback. That's what Brett Favre did to Aaron Rodgers. And when you go through situations in life like that, a lot of people say, that's who I don't want to be. I don't want to be Brett Favre. I think Aaron Rodgers would love to mentor a young quarterback. He loves football. He wants to get back to the game. And I think a quarterback like Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders would benefit tremendously being in the film room for 18 weeks with Aaron Rodgers, learning what Aaron Rodgers sees when he looks at it on the field, how to diagnose coverages from Aaron Rodgers, learn how to be a multi-time MVP, a Super Bowl winner, a Super Bowl MVP from Rodgers. I think he could be a good mentor. Mike, what's up, bro? But Marshall, if we trade up to 1 and get Ward, it's not that we can't get Rodgers and Adams. It's just maybe the money can be better spent. Example, Charvarius Ward and Will Fries. Well, free agency comes first. And the Giants are going to sign a quarterback in free agency early on, starting Monday next week. So it's hard to envision a scenario like this because the Giants don't know they're getting a quarterback in the draft. And they need to approach free agency like they're not getting a quarterback in the draft. Because if you don't sign a quarterback at free agency that can win you games, and then you don't get a quarterback in round 1, just don't even play the season because you're going to be fired no matter what. Saxton, what's up, man? Cam and Shedeur seem very iffy to me if they could truly be franchise QBs. Seems like a bit too much of a gamble to trade up. Just would hate to put too many eggs in one basket. Yeah, look, I just disagree. I think both these guys are good quarterbacks. Are they the best prospects? No. Are they good enough to be quarterbacks on winning football teams? I think they are. I'll just leave it at that. Mike G, hearing the Titans' edge is of interest to the Giants. Harold Landry, yes. Well, I don't know if he is. How does that make sense for a guy they have to pay? You are a stud, by the way. Well, the Titans don't want to pay Harold Landry. And maybe the Giants don't want to pay Kayvon Thibodeau. And there's a rumor out there that the Giants and Titans have discussed a trade that would have the Giants go from 3 to 1, and they would send Kayvon Thibodeau to Tennessee, and they would get back Harold Landry. That's all I know on that. I don't know if it's true. It's just something I have heard. Landry would be due $16 million the next 2 years for the New York Giants. That's pretty good money for a guy that 3 years in a row has had 9+ sacks. Landry's a good football player, and he would be reunited with Shane Bowen. Thunder. If we sign Rodgers, miss out on Ward, and decide to pick Hunter at 3, do you take Dart at 34 or see which O-line and or DT is available and try to trade back into the second round and take a chance with Dart? If we sign Rodgers, miss out on Ward, and decide to pick Hunter at 3, do you take Dart at 34? Yeah, I probably would. How far is Shedeur sliding in this? If Shedeur slides outside the top 10, I'm trading back up to get him. Do what the Texans did. Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to think the Giants could leave the draft with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. PFF thinks that Shedeur could slide out around 1. And if he slides outside the top 10, Joe Schoen, pick up the phone. Go get him. I think that'd be pretty damn cool. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue.
And that's that. 2 hours of talking Giants football. Big offseason ahead.
Big offseason ahead.
Kicking into high gear in 5 sleeps.
5 sleeps. Wild.
Sleep 5 more times and the Giants might have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers could be a New York Giant this time next week.
I think they sign a QB day one.
Yep.
I think they have to.
I think they have to. They can't afford to wait.
And I don't think Rodgers is going to stretch this out. Like, the more he stretches it out, the thinner and thinner his landing spots are.
Yeah.
Because other teams are just going to go fill that need somewhere else.
And then henceforth the money dries up too because they know you don't have many options left.
I'm pretty confident Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson will be a Giant this time next week. That's my bet. If I had to make a bet on which player is a Giant at the quarterback position, I would say it's Rodgers or Russell Wilson. That's where I'm at on that. All righty, we're going to sign off on the show. Been live for over 2 hours. You guys are awesome. We appreciate y'all. All the love. We'll be live again Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday, breaking it all down NFL free agency style. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon on your way out.
Let's go Big Blue.